Welcome to the MRO Exchange, Connecting Healthcare Executives, your go-to podcast for staying informed in the dynamic healthcare world, where MRO discusses industry trends and topics with prominent healthcare leaders. In each episode, we delve into the intricate landscape of the U.S. healthcare system, shining a light on the immense responsibility shouldered by providers to effectively acquire, manage, and share clinical data with data consumers. Join MRO experts and healthcare executives as they navigate the important dynamics within this highly complex environment. From the surge in healthcare ecosystem demands to the influx of structured and unstructured data scattered across diverse systems, along with the ever-growing compliance, security, and privacy expectations, the MRO Exchange, Connecting Healthcare Executives, unravels it all for you. Tune in for a comprehensive exploration of the pressing issues shaping the healthcare industry today.
Hi, I'm Mark Thomas, and thanks for tuning into The Exchange, where we connect healthcare execs. You can learn more about me and my background on the MRO website, mrocorp.com, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Today, I'm here to connect with Andy Holt, who leads our MRO technology engineering team, and we're discussing all things AI in healthcare. Andy is MRO's VP of Engineering, focusing on engineering talent management, our overall software engineering operating model, as well as leading teams specifically focused on our release of information product domain. Welcome, Andy.
Thanks so much, Mark.
I wanted to discuss AI today since it's been the industry buzzword for years. It seems like you can't have a conversation today without talking about AI, and it's really hitting close to home in everything that we do, both professionally here at our MRO and personally. Specifically, MRO has been leveraging AI technology long before it became a hot topic, experimenting with use cases across our organization. So we're just going to dive in here and talk about it. At MRO, our AI strategy and investment is focused on really three main areas. First, improving how our employees work every day. Second, enhancing our capabilities of our products. And thirdly, really focused on some disruptive innovation. We're not really ready to reveal all our secrets about things to come today, but we thought we'd talk about the first area and really talking about how AI can improve how our employees are working every day and therefore providing more value to our clients at the same or lower cost. So Andy, to start things off, tell us a little bit about your engineering background and how you've seen AI change or enhance what software engineers do every day.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. So like Mark said, my name is Andy Holt. I'm a technology leader with a little over 20 years experience in building and developing teams to deliver multi-million-dollar portfolio solutions. And many of those years actually spent in the healthcare industry. And one of the passions, and Mark called it out, was really being able to enable business value through the thing that matters most, and that's our talent. Then also our technology and driving data-driven approaches as we continue to deliver working software to our clients and to our users. When it comes to AI, wow, the experimentation that we've been able to do and some of the successes we've been able to do. But I'll take a step back and say, where did we start looking for those opportunities? So if you think about from a software engineering perspective, there are really four areas of a software development lifecycle. You've got our research and design, you've got development and building, testing, and then you've got releasing, getting that into the hands of the user. And for us, when we first started looking at where could we use AI to gain some of those productivity tractions, we looked at two key areas: development and building and testing. Those for us were the most obvious choices to use AI for productivity, because those are really where the gains are for us and for many people who use a software development lifecycle. This is where our engineers spend the most of their time. So for us, it was a prime spot where we could really use AI to provide some opportunities. So let me break down what that really could look like. When it comes to maybe developing and building working software, we see a lot of promise with AI to be able to do some code generation, offer developer commands, and even help with some basic functions. From the testing perspective, wow, we are seeing immediate promise with AI, helping us really take our quality to the next level and increasing our product's code coverage, reducing our change failures. So we, out of the gate, are already excited about really looking at these two prime areas and sharing a little bit more with you on what we've done in those two prime areas for software development. But from an organizational perspective, one of the things that we're not just stopping with software development, we're even expanding beyond into more areas, which Mark, you'll be talking about here in a second. So that's where we're heading and what we're experimenting with a little bit in software engineering. But, Mark, you've been doing technology even longer than I have. What are some of the ways you see AI changing and what we do in technology?
Yeah, that's a great question. I consider myself fortunate to have lived and worked my entire technology career through some incredible transformations. I'm dating myself a little bit, but it started with the rise of the internet and websites and actually doing business that way. And then that shifted, the next big transformation was moving from leveraging on-prem data centers to leveraging cloud computing, and then and things like mobile computing and so forth. And then now really the proliferation of AI technology. All of those things represented giant inflection points in how technology organizations operated, how we delivered value to our stakeholders, to our businesses clients. And while all those transformations kind of started out as we need to have a strategy, we need to have a plan of adoption, we need to have a committee that drives how we're doing it. All of them ended up with as just being part of what we do every day. We no longer talk about, what's our cloud strategy or what's our mobile strategy. Those are just part of how we operate. I believe AI is going to follow the same path. Honestly, it's a new and exciting technology change. It's changing very fast. It's difficult as a technology executive to not have FOMO and be concerned, are we missing out on opportunities? But we're really kind of sitting in this, as Gartner describes the Gartner hype cycle. We're sitting both at the peak of hype and in a little bit of the trough of disillusionment, a little bit, because it's like they've got all this opportunity, and what do we do with it? How do we leverage it? How do we take advantage of it? And at the same time, it's changing really rapidly. I do think AI is going to follow the same path that cloud and the rise of mobile computing and the rise of the internet and websites did, but I think it's going to happen faster. Everything's happening at a faster rate. One of the cool things I'm seeing, just talking about myself and other leaders and my peers, where AI is driving even better what we do, not just the engineers on our teams, but literally what we're doing. I'm using it to help me solve tough problems. I will have conversations with Gen AI to help me work through a difficult challenge I'm facing, or literally get it to play devil's advocate. Tell me where there are holes in my ideas, for example. Used it a lot to think about what our AI strategy was, which is kind of feels a little circular, but it's a really cool tool for doing that. I definitely use it every day to help me better my communications. When I'm sending mass communications out to our team, and I need a second set of eyes to help me do that better. It's also really helping us to drive better data-driven decision making. And for me, it helps me look for risk. I will submit plans and ideas and say, tell me where the risks are here for us at MRO, and what do we need to watch out for. And I really feel like it's just been a force multiplier. And one of the things that Gartner talks about in the AI adoption model is the places where they're finding it being really most useful. And the most useful area is supporting your really high experienced, deep thinking use cases, where people can take what AI tells it and validate it. Because there are some pitfalls out there, as we all know. There are pitfalls where the AI models can sometimes do what's called hallucination and come up with some wild and crazy ideas. And if you've got folks maybe with low experience or don't really understand what they're looking at, they might just take that at face value. So you kind of have to be careful on the specific use cases. But I'm seeing it just really transform every part of our organization. Andy, you talked about some of the ways you're looking at it from an engineering perspective, and I know you and I have joked about this. I think that it literally can 3x our engineering output within the next 12 to 18 months. What's an example of where you're seeing some significant improvements in engineers' productivity?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mark. And not just 3x. We might be able to go beyond that. So, some time ago, we actually stood up a small pilot team, and we created just and this is important, right? For anybody looking to do it, you have to have a culture of experimentation, a culture of innovation, and be willing to set a little time aside for a group and several groups of people to be able to solution using this tool, because that's where the benefit happens, is really those folks that are hands on keyboard every day working with our working and delivering our working software. So one of the prime areas that we've been experimenting and seeing some results, and we expect these results are really going to take off in the next couple months, is really using AI as a lever for creating automated test cases. So one of the values we've seen, and we talked a little bit about that software development lifecycle in that one piece called testing, where we're really having to drive quality. So when our users get working software, they get it the way they want it. There's no bugs, there's no defects. Anytime we get something in our hands, we want it to be perfect. Well, we want that for our users as well. So what AI has been able to do is we've really integrated that into some of our development tools. And within that, we've been able to really build out the right algorithms to say, hey, AI help us create automated test cases. And it doesn't just create them based on the code it sees. It also helps us think through permutation, edge cases. And for every user story that a team produces, on average, we have maybe we'll say about 10 test cases that have to be automated, have to be written so that we're delivering quality to our end user. Mark, guess how much time those 10 automated test cases take? I mean, they could take an
Couple of
hour.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but to look for really those permutations, those edge cases, it could take up to 2 to 3 hours, just depending on how
Wow.
complex the solution is. So if we know we deliver thousands of user stories a year, if we just take a few of those and we say, well, for every user story that we deliver, it takes the developer an hour to create an automated test case, times that by 1,000. How much time we're getting back into our engineers' hands to deliver even more working software into the hands of the users. And Mark, let's be honest, I've been hands on keyboard before. Doing quality it's like doing the dishes after you've cooked in the kitchen for 2 hours. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to do it, and neither do our engineers. It's the thing that, we love building working software, but now we've got to do the testing, and the testing is one of the most critical pieces. So this really hits two birds with one stone. We're able to increase our quality, and we see that in our data through our test coverage, through our lowering of our change failure rates, lowering of our defect rates. We're seeing that quality go up exponentially. And we're also giving developers more time to do exactly what they're passionate about. And what we want them doing is delivering really good quality working software.
Yeah, it was super cool when one of the engineers on your team shared that video. He's like, "Look at this! Look what I did! It would have taken me an hour to do this." And literally, I think the video ran for 50 seconds, and it wrote every permutation of that unit test. That was
Yeah.
crazy. It's awesome to see.
It was so cool to see, but for folks out there who are looking to really integrate this in their software development lifecycle, we've got some phenomenal engineers in our organization. I mean, world class. And one of the things we said is, hey, if we're going to show this works when it comes to productivity, it has to be data driven. So that's been the fun part of allowing and giving that team space to experiment, because now we're seeing the data flow in, and we're able to really validate that this is worth the investment, and it might get us that 3x and beyond in the next year or more. So very exciting news.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. As I think about taking some of those things that you're learning across the organization at scale, I think AI is a little different than maybe just scaling your everyday technology. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about, how do we not just take an AI investment strategy and drive value across MRO, but how do we really create an environment? How do we enable the organization to leverage this type of technology at scale across the organization? Every single engineer, every single employee at MRO getting value out of it. And to me, it kind of came down to just, I distilled it down in just what I think are some clear steps that help us get there. It started with, for me, developing a clear AI strategy, right, and aligning that to our business goals. What are we trying to achieve? And then you got to measure, right? We got to know that we're actually achieving what we set out to achieve. So we define some success metrics in each of those categories I talked about earlier, and then we're communicating to everyone. We're saying, look, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. This is our vision, and you're going to be part of it, right? And we got the organization excited about it, and then for a while now, we have been investing significantly in the interoperability data infrastructure here at MRO, both with our clients and inside MRO, within our systems, within our products, so that we can have data liquidity. We were doing that to help us do our business better, but in turn, what it's doing is it's helping us leverage that data for AI use cases in ways that we didn't even imagine when we started down the path of interoperability. And so we've been focused on modernizing our data systems and ensuring data integrity and building out things like master data management, so that we can really democratize that data so that we can leverage it across the organization. And one of the things I'm seeing that's really specific to AI and getting value out of it across the organization is fostering cross-functional collaboration. You're the example you gave, Andy, was an engineer writing a use case, and it's really powerful, right? Or a unit test. It's really powerful. It's going to save us a ton of time. But to get value with our products, we've got to connect those engineers, those world-class engineers that you talked about, and the AI talent that we have, together with the people that have problems in our organization, and say, y'all go tell us, right? Y'all get together and explore the realm of the possible. So it's been fun for me to see those cross-functional collaborations come to life and bring new ideas around what we can do with AI, and both in our products and improving our workforce. And you mentioned it earlier, talent management. It's something that I know is really core to what you do as an engineering leader for us, but really we got to have the skills. These are new skills. These are new technologies that we're adopting, and we can't just adopt them blindly. So I love seeing our teams conduct skill up programs for each other. As someone becomes an expert in a technology, they're willing to teach it across our organization, and that really helps us drive skill across the whole organization and really helps foster adoption. We are focused on trust with AI. One of the things that Gartner talks about is to really be able to adopt AI at scale, you've got to have a trust and risk framework. So one of the things MRO is in the business of is protecting our clients' data. That's core to what we do. And we have lots of conversations with them around specifically AI and how we are ensuring that their data is safe, regardless of the AI tools that we're doing. So we've got technologies in place, we've got processes in place, we've got audit capabilities in place to make sure that we're adopting these technologies with trust, and that's really important to help them scale. So we're enhancing our security and compliance at the same time, which is super exciting to see. And then, again, my job I see is really twofold. Is to be this champion of a culture of innovation, to inspire folks to think differently than they've thought in the past. We encourage experimentation. You talked about that example. That example was an experiment where the developer said, hey, we want to go try it. And we said, great, go do that. That's one of my favorite phrases, right? Is say, if you've got a good idea, let's encourage that. And then we celebrate those successes. One of my favorite parts about the monthly town halls we do in technology is celebrating the success, where we've had success in these things. And then at the company level, we've showcased a lot of these successes that we've gotten in AI across the organization. And that's just a fun part of my job. But also we're very active collaborating with regulatory bodies. We've got members of our executive team who work very closely with external organizations on what it means for data to be interoperable and helping drive that in the industry. And then ultimately, my job is to measure how we're doing and then communicate the impact. What impact are we getting? by implementing these technologies at scale. And that's the fun part of my job. Let's be clear. Like, that's one of my favorite things is when we see these things start to take hold, and they all won't. We know that. We know we're going to fail in some of them, but the ones that do are super exciting to see. So I just want to say, Andy, I appreciate you being my guest on the show today. I want to encourage everybody to be on the lookout for future AI episodes here at MRO and as part of the MRO Exchange. We're just getting started. Goodbye, everyone.
You've been listening to the MRO Exchange, where we connect healthcare execs. For more insights and to hear other healthcare executives' exchanges, visit the show's page on MROcorp.com and be sure to explore additional resources and thought leadership articles. You can also check out the program page on healthcarenowradio.com. Finally, be sure to connect with us on LinkedIn or X at MRO Corp. Until we talk again, this is the MRO Exchange, where healthcare execs connect.